what's going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again, and today we're here for Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode 9. And in this episode, it was chock full of a little bit of comedy with a little bit of seriousness on top of that. And we're going to get started with the fact that everybody, well, right now people think Gira is dead after the fight he had with Raculus, and now the other Rangers have essentially hidden him in like this abandoned cave looking area, and they basically tell him to stay put because they want him to pretend that he is dead right now so they can figure out another way to actually defeat Raculus. He has a wound on his shoulder that made him think that it hurts, but it basically makes him think that Raculus probably was taking it easy on him and not really trying to kill him. So, but the others, they feel like, that's kind of untrue, and they essentially tell him to stay there while they try to figure something out. When they leave, they essentially have like this little fake alliance thing that they got going on, and we see the selfishness behind a lot of them, which is they're all trying to they're all trying to have Gira basically for themselves. So all of them ask their assistants to actually go to that place and actually bring Gira to them. So also find out Kuchiragi, his assistant, actually talks. The guy, he wears a mask and all this kind of stuff, which is actually kind of surprising to actually hear him talk. But we never see his face in this episode. But so we see that the others are trying to persuade Gira to come to their kingdom, essentially. But we see that the kingdoms are being attacked by Dark Narok. Dark Narok has basically took it upon himself to basically cripple all the nations by his own hand. We see that he goes off on his own to basically fight all the rangers by himself, like simultaneously. And we see that because the other nations are right now being attacked by a lot of the Bugnarok grunts, it's kind of dangerous to go to other continents. And we do see other kingdoms, and we do see like a world map of like where all the other kingdoms and stuff like that are. And it's kind of cool because we see these guys traveling across oceans and like long water masses in like minutes. So yeah, so we see that the first place that gets attacked is Kimino. Her Ishinata basically gets attacked first. We see that Dark Narok is using like his tentacles to like inject something into the ground, and he ends up fighting her. And he essentially goes and does this to every other kingdom except the Shu Gundam. But he goes and he does this basically to all the other kingdoms while injecting like this essence or eggs probably inside of the ground within all the kingdoms. And while this is happening, we see that all the other rangers are fighting him, but he's basically taking all of them out one by one. But we did see how Kuchiragi is talking with Raculus, and we see that other people, part of Shu Gundam, are actually going to the other kingdoms, basically looking for Gira because they want Gira's. Eventually Raculus wants Gira's body, so he can essentially take Gira's powers from him, from his remains, essentially. And we start to see like more and more of his actual plan, basically cutting himself off from the other kingdoms and also gaining the power to become like the ultimate king and ruled over all of them, which essentially is Raculus's plan. But I still don't think he's working with the Bugnarok. I don't really think that's a thing right now. I think the Bugnarok are their own party, and they have their own goals and own things that they want to do, because we know that essentially the Bugnarok do care about the planet. They just don't care about the people on it. They don't care about humanity, and that's why they're constantly trying to destroy humanity. But after Dark Narok has basically essentially gone and destroyed all. Well, but not destroyed, but he's beaten all of the Rangers after sending after sending his grunts there to do basically take out, or I guess slow them down, or tire them out essentially. But he's kind of like the main. He's like the second main villain, I guess. So of course this guy is like demonically strong. So, and well, really can't be defeated by one solo person by themselves. But we see that Raculus also is talking with Kusuragi, and he says, after he says that he trying to take Gita's power, he basically says that, oh, Kusuragi is like, so the rumors are basically, you seem so calm and collected right now, I guess the rumors are really true. And Raculus is like, what rumors? And we see that back in the last episode where we saw Kusuragi had disguised himself as a Shoe Gundam knight. He saw that Raculus essentially has another King-Ohger, a black King-Ohger, and he basically Raculus is like, well, if you really believe that, then maybe you should watch your back, mind your attitude, because I can come up here and shut all this down. But we did see in this episode, God Hopper is another Greater Guardian Spirit who has essentially shown himself in this episode as well. And he talks to Gira after, Rita's basically assistant gives him his sword back, because she ends up capturing him while he's traveling with the others, assistants traveling with the rest of them, and every other kingdom they go to is essentially not safe. So he ends up going to Gokon because of her. And we see that we kind of get some hints of the fact that maybe her and Rita are actually like related. And Gira is talking with the rest of them, asking them like, you guys are always trying to help, you guys are always doing your jobs and trying to help your kings, but have you ever really like respected or really tried to help your king? And Rita's assistant is just like, I don't know, seems like a lot of work or whatever. We already know that this chick is like very lazy. Like, she's always ready to get off work, which is kind of my thing. But she's always ready to get off of work. She's tired of working. But she ends up giving Gira his sword back after seeing that after seeing that the grunts are actually attacking as he grown giant. So he calls King-Ohger. When he calls King-Ohger, he starts fighting all the giant Bug Narok grunts. He starts fighting all of them, and that's when God Hopper comes in, and God Hopper asks his Gira where Sasarin is. And we see Sasarin actually, he said, hey, Sasarin actually ran off with the the big black beetle, actually ran off with him. So we actually got a Shoe God, Greater Guardian Spirit love triangle thing going on, which is like, why would a grasshopper want to be with a scorpion? I don't know, but got this big love triangle thing going on. And that's when he tells Hopper that, hey man, if you got anything you want to do, like, just go for it. You got to put it into action, stuff like that. That's what he combines with God Hopper. It ends up basically becoming like a giant bug zapper. And the only way to, like, you gotta do like close range type moves. Like, you have to get somebody, like, you basically have to bear hug them, and then they get electrocuted and they die. But yeah, essentially just this big giant bug zapper. And then after that, God Hopper leaves to go try and find Sasarin. But yeah, that was kind of the weirdest kind of part. But yeah, right now everybody thinks Gira is essentially dead, but all the other Rangers have been defeated by Dark Narok, and that's what Dark Narok actually confronts Gira, and essentially he shows that he has put giant cocoons in every part of the kingdom, in all of the kingdoms, has a big cocoon in it, and essentially these cocoons will hatch and destroy the worst, and basically destroy the rest of the world. And he gets ready to attack Gira. When he attacks Gira, episode ends off right there. So next episode, we are basically gonna see what is going to become of all these cocoons and all this stuff going on around the rest of the kingdoms, and we'll see if Reckless does find out that Gira is still alive. But yeah, man, this episode was a big cross between funny and a cross between a lot of serious stuff, especially when we had Darkenrock going in there and taking the initiative of himself and not really relying on his little grunts or whatever to do the stuff. And he actually went in there and started doing work on his own, and it showed how powerful this man actually is. And to defeat all the, I mean, it makes sense though. It makes sense that he is this strong and he's able to defeat one ranger. But yeah, I did like the fact that he basically took that role of this evil leader and said, you know what, I'm gonna go out here and do everything by myself because my assistant and everybody else is kind of incompetent and they keep losing this stuff, so I'm just gonna do it myself, bro. But I do like the whole Kuchiragi and Raculus type thing going on. I feel like Kuchiragi is really just only pretending to be be the most loyal and on Raculus's side after seeing what he is actually capable of. And I do like the dynamic between them. I feel like these two have basically been like the ones that have known each other the longest out of everyone else. So it kind of gives Kuchiragi a little bit of an edge on the prep time of whenever he makes that confrontation with Raculus on, and hopefully he tells everyone when he, sees this, but most likely he's probably not going to tell everybody, but I hope he does so they can actually have some type of prep time or whatever, or know what's going on between Raculus and things like that. And Gira is really in some big trouble, man. He's about to get eaten up by this freaking black giant tentacle monster, and it's pretty freaking weird looking. But yeah, I wonder like how they're going to end up ending this, especially how we know the nature of those cocoons. If you try to destroy them, they blow up. But then also when they hatch, they're gonna show up. We're gonna a giant bug in the rock monster. But yeah, you guys, I did like the God Hopper like little attachment that they had. You see how the legs fuse together. How the hopper legs fuse together with your legs, and then you get like this giant chest plate that just ignites with electricity. Pretty freaking cool looking. But other than that, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of episode 9 of Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger. I'm gonna see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and remember, as I always say, stay henshined.